Okay, it says I'm live. I don't know if anything's transmitting. Okay, now it's showing up. All right, now we're cooking. Okay, it feels a lot better now. Excellent. Oh boy, the first time I did this streaming thing, it was a lot easier getting set up than this time. The screen reader seems to conflict with stuff, so let me see if that works first. And while we're doing that, I'm just gonna grab the content we're gonna talk about, which is on the Jupyter blog. So let's go get that.
Screen reader on. OBS 30.1.0 dash profile colon. Untitled dash scenes colon. Untitled frame. Device combo OBS 30.1.0 dash up notebook copy. Address and search bar autocomplete search Google or type a URL escape. New tab. Document web.
Okay, great. So what I wanted to look at today is on Jupyter's Medium blog.
Selection T. Select return. List box. Loading. Tab. Tab. Skip to main con return. Jupyter blog return. Leaving main content. Jupyter blog. Document web. Loading. Please wait. Finish tab. Home page tab. Sign in. Link. Tab. Get started. Lit tab. Go to tab. A tab. If tab. Tab. So tab. Visit left tab. Visit left quote Jupyter tab. Follow. Push a tab. Go to the profile tab. Mark tab. Tab. Make your pandas or polars data frames interactive with itables 2.0. Jupyter blog dash Google Chrome dash Tony.
This is what I wanted to talk about today. Let's hear that again.
Left mar 9 tab. Make your pandas or polars data frames interactive with itables 2.0. Link.
Excellent. Let's follow
Return.
that.
Make your pandas or polars data frames interactive with itables 2.0 bar by Mark Waltz star mar 2024 bar Jupyter blog. Document web. Loading. Please wait. Finished escape.
Okay, awesome. So my goal today is to talk about data technologies and their accessibility. When we do this, we want to keep in mind that these products weren't designed to be to work with accessible or assistive technology, but we are just checking to see what kind of thought and consideration is put into it and how that applies to the general accessibility of open science technology.
Make your pandas or polars data frame.
Let's see. It looks like I'm cutting off. Nope, no, nothing's getting cut off here. I'm going to turn off the screen reader now. We got there. One of the things that's going to happen is y'all are just going to hear my screen reader here and there. I think it's important that developers hear what a screen reader workflow looks like so that we can design for them. Now, I'm using Orca because I'm on Linux. If somebody feels inspired to go and try this on NVDA, JAWS, or VoiceOver, that would be excellent. But today we're stuck with the tolerable Orca. It's not used by many people. I think it's used by like 2 to 3% of screen reader users, which isn't much. But most developers who are on Linux, it's the one that they have available. It's their best screen reader because they have it available to them. So let's learn to use it a little bit. I kept the keyboard events on so you can see what my screen reader's doing. So for anybody who is on a Linux, they can hit their what is it? Alt Super.
Left alt. Screen reader off.
And we turn the screen reader off.
Screen reader on. Make your pandas or polars data frames interactive with itables 2.0 bar by Mark Waltz star mar 2020 escape.
Great. So that is how y'all can do that. I'm pretty sure it's on most Linux boxes. So this is a way that you can start testing it. And if it crashes, just start it again. Yep. That project's developed open source. So is NVDA. I think it's important to note. And let's take a look at this open source project.
Make your pen left alt. Screen reader off.
Okay. So I've already installed itables. I use Mamba. Mamba's much faster, so I Mamba installed itables. And then we'll go and probably write this code ourselves. But let's take a look at this animation here and see what it tells us about the project. So I'm gonna wait until it starts back up to narrate, just in case any visually impaired folks are trying to stay along. So this demonstration here runs a notebook in Jupyter and when we run it with itables active, we get a really interactive table. It's not static anymore. We have the ability to paginate through different layers of the data. We can choose to reveal different entries. There's some sorting things on there, which can be some accessibility which can be difficult accessibility things to implement. We've got a search form too. So we've got forms, we've got pagination, we've got some UI things that we're going to want to experience with the screen reader and know what that's like. But I doubt that Mark Woutz wrote all of this. He's probably using another library here. So let's see. Yeah, it looks like they'll be displayed using the datatables library. So let's go take a look at that. Cool. So this datatables library actually has an example on the page here. And we can see the entries that were in the GIF. We can see the search area. We can see it. Let's hear it though. Okay. So if we're at datatables.net, we turn on our screen reader, Alt Super S.
Screen reader on. Datatables bar JavaScript table library dash Google Chrome dash Tony frame. Address and search bar autocomplete search Google or type a URL select escape. Datatables bar JavaScript table library document escape.
So I can hit T to go and find a table.
T. Wrapping to top. Table with 52 rows 4 columns. Name colon. Activate to invert sorting. Column header. Sorted ascending.
Okay. So it took me right to the table. It took me to the name column. And it told me that it was sorted in a certain way. So now if I hit tab again, let's see where we go.
Tab. Position colon.
Takes me to the next column.
Column header.
And it does that because there's a button there. Since we have the sorting feature, it does make sense to have tabs. Otherwise, it might not make too much sense.
Tab. Office colon. Act tab. Age colon. Activate to sort. Column header.
I don't know if that colon's necessary.
Tab. Erisadu. Accountant. Tokyo. 33. Focus mode.
Okay, so when we tab, it actually tabs us to the first element in a row, and that's because it's got a collapsible
Return.
feature on it. So I can expand this, and I see that it says start date, salary date. Let's read it.
Accountant. Column 2. Tokyo. Column 3. 33. Column 4. Start date. 11/27/2008. Salary. $162,700. Chief Executive Officer left paren. CEO right paren. Row 4. Column 2. London. Row 4. Column 3. 47. Row 4. Column 4. Junior Technical Author. Row 5. Column 2. San Francisco. Escape. Browse mode. Escape.
So if you hear, at least on my screen reader, it's not reading the first row. And I think that that's probably bad, but it does have this.
Datatables bar left alt. Screen reader off.
This is a really complicated table when you have collapsible bits in here. It looks, let's see, I don't want to dig into this too much, but what I do want to check is to see if they care about accessibility. And how do you do that? If they're using ARIA, then they care. So let's see. We are clearly not in a table here. Let's go and see if, yeah. Okay, let's go and try this again. Let's click here. Inspect. Put me in it. Okay, because I'm in the search. Great. It's an example wrapper. So here's the table. We found that. So there is some ARIA in here. And when we see ARIA, we know that the developers are at least interested in an accessible experience. But is it being used right? So why weren't those rows being read? Let's see. So if we go into a one of these rows, the first element is not the element is actually given a tab index because it controls them expanding, and it looks like the start date and the salary are actually hidden columns that are activated when this is clicked. But in doing what they're doing, they're taking away from the structure of this. So this might make sense to have a TH in the beginning. But nevertheless, not my problem. We do know that there is some concern for ARIA here. So another way we can find some ARIA is there's sorting procedures, and we do find that they have ARIA sort properties. So there is some expectation that there should be accessibility ergonomics or assistive technology ergonomics built into this, and we're going to see how they go. Yeah. Great. So that was a little introduction. Let's try this with some real data.
Screen reader on.
It's
Data tables. Data table left out. Screen reader off.
it's one thing to make a little example demo thing, but let's see how it rips on some real data here. So I'm gonna start by making a new notebook and putting these links over in there. And then when we're all done, we'll be able to I'll be able to summarize this, put it in a blog post after we do some revision. And if y'all want to stay around while I do that, that's usually part of these streams here. So these are our first two links, and what we're doing is we're looking at assistant or screen reader experiences with static and interactive tables. So why do I say static? We haven't talked about anything static yet. Well, there are some problems with the existing representations of tables. And I do go through them in a blog post that looks at the proper HTML tables with multiple indexes. I think this is the right one, but it goes and synthesizes some of this might be good. There might be another one somewhere, but this allows me to test the screen reader experience. And if folks want to dig into that, that's great. One of the big problems we find is that oftentimes the first column, the first elements of a table are empty, right? So you're a screen reader user and you hit T and it takes you to that first column, that first element, and there's nothing there. That sucks, right? It's like walking into a room and you don't know what's in there. So we want to elevate these things, and we can see that in some of the better, once we adopt some better accessibility practices, we're making sure that there are columns and rows and all that kind of good stuff. So a more rigorous approach to markup would make sure that data tables rows are announced. Now, we might not run into this problem in our more simpler use cases that we'll get to, but let's do that. I need to warm up a little bit, so we do some because I really like to do some live programming. It's one of my favorite things to do, and one of the ways I'm going to do that, let's fill out the screen a little bit. I feel a little cramped. I hope you all do not. Hope you all are cozy. Okay, this is a little bit cozier to work with, and actually, yeah, that's about the best. Oh no, I can go over here and do this, and that will be better, I believe. Nice. Okay, so that's more screen space, and this shoulder over here probably isn't even important. Very cool. Okay, let's see how this rocks. Okay, so I want to get warmed up, and I always have something stashed somewhere that's got some little tricks in it. I think I called this one notebook, and then we're gonna need some pandas, and we're also gonna need itables. Okay, very cool. So let's get our data first. Like I said, let's get warmed up. This way, I'll be a little bit more fluent talking about the itables. So, it's always interesting. It's like, what's your first trick that you do? And for me, I don't know. I've always put a lot of my notebooks and my content onto GitHub's Gist. It's a really great place for like tiny little ideas, and especially since notebooks render, it really can be. We need the api.github.com because we're returning some JSON here, and we're just going to do it for me. And I've got some gists here, and then we're also going to go and paginate this, right? So, yeah, right? I say right, as if it's just all makes sense to you. And what we need to do is we need to format this, and boom, got some URLs. Now, there's some JSON at the end of this, okay? So I've got when I said that we're using my things, I add some little methods to pandas. You can add accessors to pandas, and I think it's really good practice, especially if you're doing repetitive things to kind of squash it down a little bit. So I'm going to go and do an HTTP GET. And in theory, this is going to get me back all the data, but it's actually an awaitable. I'm sure folks don't often see awaitable data frames. Kind of funny. But anyway, let's mosey along here, and then we get a whole bunch of lists back. So I kind of want them in rows. So the way I do that, let's explode it, and then I've got this other method that lets me kind of expand containers into a data frame, and now magically we have all of our gist, or all of my gist, all 120 of them, with 18 rows of data here and a few nested columns. Not too bad, huh? Oh, feeling good. Getting that warm-up experience. But see, I know this data set way too much. So if I dig in here, there's this files guy, and this is, it gives me dictionaries in each of them. I don't really need that. So I'm going to go and apply, and I'm just going to grab out the dictionary values, and then I really am going to, so this gives me an iterable of the key and the values, but I really want to explode that. Let's explode it. Boom. Okay, so now what this has done is it's unrolled all of our files from our gist, and then we pop on a series here, and this is going to expand it horizontally. And look at that, so beautiful. We've got some file names, we've got the language, all that kind of, and we've even got a size here, so that'll be a fun thing to sort on. We've got some data. Let's try and listen to this with a screen reader. That's kind of the whole purpose of today. So let's see.
Screen reader on. Untitled 27.I. Left paren 7 right paren dash jupyter lab dash Google Chrome dash Tony frame. Main content. Region notebook content. Cells feed. Code cell content with output.
Okay, so we're in a code cell. We don't know what code cell. We know it's got an output. We don't know anything about the output. It probably could be like out 11 or something.
Untitled 27.I. Left paren 7 right paren dash jupyter lab dash Google Chrome dash Tony.
Oof. Yeah, so I tried to click on the table and I wasn't able to get it.
Table with 12 rows, 6 columns. Column header.
Okay, so so what it's saying, we've got 12 rows and 6 columns. We have 120 gist times a bunch of other files. Let's see how many files we have. So 150 files or so. But it says that we've got 12 rows, and that's not really true. It should say 150 rows. All that stuff is kind of sorted out in the pandas post that I'll share. Actually, let me take a quick second to copy that.
Address left shift E. Selection delete. Tonifast.gc. Copied.
Post
Finished.
over here.
Untitled 27. Type. Main content. Return. Return left shift star space V. HTTP star HTTPS colon backspace star. Return. Leaving list. Untitled 27.I. Left paren 7 right paren left alt. Screen reader off.
Okay, so we're gonna get back to our table, and then we're gonna rip around it, just so we get familiar. Tables are really complicated accessibility things. You get all this cool arrow navigation and stuff like that, which I'll show you how we can move rows and columns. So let's turn our screen reader on. Let's find our table, and then let's try and navigate our table. And if we notice here, when we get to our table, it shouldn't tell us anything about the table because the column for the URL is hidden. Let's see. Can I think of a way to fix that? I can. I'm going to do this. df this. Let's do set index. And now we'll have an ID for an index. And if you notice, our first cell is still going to be empty. We don't really have a way with natural data frames to make them accessible. So if iTable is accessible and I can publish with it, then I'd much rather use that tool because it adds more accessibility features for not only assistive technology users, but for able-bodied users. We want to see how this rocks. And if not, maybe we can come up with some issues, or y'all can help me come up with some issues that improve the data tables experience. A lot of this open source accessibility is a house of cards here. So let's see. We got a data frame. Okay. Let's see. itables. What have you got to offer? So it looks like if I hit itables and I do tab, you know, completion is helpful. Init notebook mode, and then let's do a shift tab and see what we have access to. I think in the post we have this all interactive. Okay, great. All interactive. Okay, now we've done that, and then we run that. Oh, bang! That's amazing. Okay, so magically this thing is just different. That's really, really cool. That's really cool. But if you notice, we have sortability on empty rows and columns. That's like an accessibility. No, we want to fix all that. So some of this looks like it's using the structure of the table that pandas makes. So this might be some of this might be a pandas thing. Some of this might be a data tables thing. It's really confusing about where those boundaries start to lie, and it's going to be a community effort to untangle them. So let's see. We can go in our example. We have over 100 things. So now we can go and look at 100. That's really great. Normally, what you'd have to do, actually, I don't think I can deal with this all interactive on. How can I run this with it off? So I'm going to just throw a pipe at the end of this, which lets me run a function, itables, and come on, give me some completion, guys. Okay, great. Itables show. Let's see if that does it. All right. So let's go and call this files. So we have it. And then we can show it. Files. Okay, great. Now, in order to access more files, so if I show files here, I only get a few rows of it. And there's some pandas options that allow you to change that accordingly. But rows are hidden and the incorrect size is ultimately represented here. But if I wanted to go and get more entries, if I wanted to change how that all happens, it's not really apparent. One trick you can do is do style. This is going to show you everything. So then what you'd have to do is you could go and do, take the head of 100 and then show the style of everything. That's one way to do it. There's probably a few ways to do this, but being able to have a low, no code way to move through the entries is really excellent. It looks like there's some theming problems since I'm using a dark theme over here. Let's see what happens if I go and turn on the theme. And let's do a light theme. Jupyter Lab Light. Okay, so now the font's a little bit better. So the light dark thing, a lot of times Jupyter extensions have to integrate with the Jupyter themes, which can be a little bit difficult to unravel. Cool. So let's see. Did I do anything in Markdown? Let's see. Okay, so this found all of the files that I wrote in Markdown, a bunch of readme.mds. That makes a whole bunch of sense. And then I can go and sort on that subset. That's really nice. Okay. Visually, great. Love it. If I had some more results. Oh, no. Do I have some more results? 9 out of 10 entries. Okay, that's great. I feel good. I want to use this so far. Another way I can check how I want to use this is I'm going to export it. So I have an accessible theme that I've been working on for a while, the MB Convert Ally theme. So if I go and export to that, and then I open it up, I hope to see this table. Oh my God, that's amazing. That's amazing. So this is a static representation of our table, right? So in the past, if I put 150 rows of data in there, it would only show me that subset and I wouldn't be able to see anymore. But in this case, I can move through a bunch more rows. Oh, that's so fabulous. This has already increased the interactivity of the experience here. Wow, I'm very happy with this so far. Very cool. I'm realizing that the margins might be hard to see, so I'm gonna actually go and have some oh, you know what? I did not put the settings in here. What a bummer. Okay. So I can do this. This is what we gotta do. All right. So let's keep it around there. Great. Okay. All right. Now, yes, now you can see a lot more of this. It's excellent. I love it. I'm very happy with it. I don't know how much extra burden it adds to the software, but let's go and start tabbing around. I gotta fix some things up here. Let's not worry about that. That is in progress here, but I am ripping on somebody else's stuff, not mine. Okay, so in code cell 7, I can tab to a place that lets me change my entries. I can tab to the search. I can tab to the first header, second header. I can tab to all of the headers. Another way that we could go and check this out too would be to go into developer tools and then go over to accessibility. Do they have show focus? Oh, maybe it's I only know where it is in Firefox. Yeah, there's a way to show the keyboard focus order, but I don't remember how to do that. Anyway, yeah, so we tabbed all the headers, and the reason we do that is because those are probably button-like things, since they have sortable features. And when we get to the end of the headers and we hit tab, it takes us to the pagination. So it allows us to go all the way back to the beginning. Even if we're on the first one, there's probably some ARIA practice guide patterns that would be more appropriate for this. So yeah, let's tab, and we have exited the cell and we've exited the table. So in the data tables example here, we could actually tab to the first row, and that's not so much the case on Jupyter, or in the data that we're working with here. So I am very happy with where we are right now. The tabbing is cool. We add some tactile features to the table that weren't there before. And then the last thing to do is check it out with a screen reader. And one of the benefits of this rendering over in this static HTML view is that I don't have to deal with the inaccessibilities of JupyterLab. So let's continue along there. So let's turn on the screen reader.
Screen reader on. Untitled 27 Google Chrome Tony frame. Skip to main content. Link.
So I could probably choose to have titled this a little bit better, but you've seen everything so far. I'll clean it up afterwards. Our goal is to find our table, and we can hit
T. Table with 12 rows, 6 columns. Colon activate to sort. Column header.
What's colon activate to sort? Since the column name is blank, there's this in the ARIA label. It looks like
untitled 27 left rows reordered. Untitled 27 Google Chrome Tony.
I'll get to we'll peek into the source code in a little bit. So again,
tab file name colon activate to sort. Column tab type colon activate to sort. Tab language colon activate to sort. Tab raw line URL colon activate to sort. Tab size colon activate to sort. Tab colon activate to invert sorting. Column header sorted ascending. Tab file name colon activate to sort. Column tab type colon activate to sort. Tab language colon activate to sort. Column header. Tab raw line URL colon activate to sort. Column header. Tab size colon activate to sort. Column header.
So if you hear, it's taking the column header from the previous row because there's no content in there. If there was content, I think it would mention the value, but I'm not sure because there's no content. But let's see what happens when we try and sort on the size.
Return rows reordered. Size activate to invert sorting sorted ascending. Rows reordered. Size activate to invert sorting sorted ascending. Rows reordered. Size activate to invert sorting sorted ascending. Rows reordered. Size activate to invert sorting sorted ascending.
I don't know what that was. I think it just read the header row.
Left size colon activate to invert sorting. Column header. Sorted ascending. Row 1, column 6.
Okay, so I am using I think it's Alt Shift.
Left alt, left shift.
Oh,
Left alt. Left shift. Left
left.
shift. Left shift. Left meta.
Okay. So these are the keys I'm using.
Left alt. Left shift. Raw line URL colon activate to sort. Column language colon activate to sort. Language none. Row 3 none. Row 4. Column 4.
So now what we're doing is we're navigating through the table with the screen reader.
Left type. Text slash lane. Row 4. Column 3. File name. Post build. Row 4. Column 2. Left meta.
So we're up at this post build guy here.
Untitled 27 Google Chrome Tony.
Okay.
Left requirements.txt. Row 5. Requirements.txt. Type end of row. End of row. 11. Not 6. Not 11. Row 5. Column 6. 9. Row 4. Column 6. 6. Row 3. Column 6. Size colon activate to invert sorting. Column header. Size colon activate to invert top of column.
Okay, so now we're back at the top of the column. So we can move around. Things make sense. The column problem is a pandas problem. It's not a data tables problem. That repetitive ARIA sort thing, I don't know what it was. There's probably some ways for us to figure that out, like trying columns with a different number of columns, perhaps. So like, let's see. Let's see if we can debug that real fast.
Left alt. Screen reader off.
Okay, so we're going to go and actually make a new copy, and this is kind of the interactive computing story here. So we've got this files thing that we want to show here, and let's just go and put file name as the only column that we care about. Okay, so we'll copy this, and now we'll print that out. Okay, and then we're going to go and save this, and then we're going to export another version. Oops. File, save, export, save a copy. Okay, and then it's going to download, and then I'm going to open it, and now we should have 2 tables on here. Very cool. One of the things that we're missing, though, is captions. Let's see. Ha! Look at that. This guy's smart. Great. So, caption, a table with 2 columns to test the sorting buttons. Okay. So now let's save this. Let's just rerun everything. It's all right. The HTTP thing on our pandas data frame has a nice little cache on it, and it's good to restart and run all every once in a while. Make sure you're caching stuff. Make sure this is kind of fast. But now I've got a caption on my page. That's cool. So it's at the bottom. So let's go and export this one. Save, and then let's go and export it. Export the notebook, and then ally. Cool. All right, great. So now we go over to that page. Go over to that page. Here it is. And then
screen reader on. Untitled 27-escape. T. Table with 12 rows, 6 columns. T. A table with 2 columns to test the sorting buttons. Table with 12 rows, 2 columns. Colon activate to sort. Column header.
Did you hear that? How that caption sounded better? Let's hear that again. Let's do
TT. Wrapping to top. Table with T. A table with 2 columns to test the sorting buttons. Table with 12 rows, 2 columns. Colon activate to sort. Column header.
So adding a caption does that. It's great. Add a caption. Now we know where our table is, and if we go and look for table navigation.
Untitled 27 Google Chrome Tony. Tables colon. 3 items found dialog. Table with 12 rows, 6 columns. Untitled 27 Google left T. Tables colon. 3 items found dialog. Table with 12 rows, 6 columns.
So now our caption actually gives better navigation where we access like this the table navigator. So adding captions is a good thing. But we're testing sorting with an ADHD person, so let's get to it.
Columns to test the sorting buttons. Table with return. Return. Tab return. Rows reordered. File name. Activate to invert sorting sorted ascending. Rows reordered. File name. Activate to invert sorting sorted ascending. Rows reordered. File name. Activate to invert sorting sorted ascending. Rows reordered. File name. Activate to invert sorting sorted ascending.
Okay, so it went 4 times. How many times does this one go?
Leaving table. Leaving panel. Out 5. Panel. Showing 1 to 10 of 149 entries. Table with 12 rows 6 columns. Size colon activate to sort. Column header. Rows reordered. Size. Activate to invert sorting sorted ascending. Rows reordered. Size. Activate to invert sorting sorted ascending.
So that only happened twice. Cool, guys.
Untitled 27. Untitled type colon activate to sort. Column header. Rows reordered. Type. Activate to invert sorting sorted ascending. Rows reordered. Type. Activate to invert sorting sorted ascending. Rows reordered. Type. Activate to invert sorting sorted ascending. Rows reordered. Type. Activate to invert sorting sorted ascending.
So that went 4 times too. I don't know. I have no idea. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with the columns. Who knows? But that might be a little bit of an annoying experience. It might also be Orca. There's so many layers to this accessibility shit sandwich.
Untitled 27 screen reader off.
Thanks for diving in with me. Anyway, let's so we've tested the table. The table, like, already the table is more accessible for abled users. It adds more tactile dimensions to the information presented, and if this was alongside your figures or even interacting with your figures, that would be a very nice sensory, tactile, visual, tactile experience. Great. Let's check and see how the other controls are.
Screen reader on. Lex L7. Link. Exit tab. Out 5 panel. Entries per page combo box. 10. Opens menu. Focus mode.
Yeah, that's great. Entries per page combo box.
Entries per page. Showing 1 to 25 of 149 entries.
I love that. There's some Aria Live there. Okay. I wonder if it's because I don't have... No, I should have enough files. This is still the gist version. Yep. So nothing... We're not hearing anything now.
Showing 1 tab. Search colon. Entry. Entries per page. Combo box. 10, 25, 50. 100. Return. Return. Entries per page. Combo box. 100. Opens menu. Entries per page. Combo box collapsed. 50. 25. 10. Showing 1 to 10 of 149 entries.
I wonder what triggers that. Can't quite figure it out.
25. Showing 1 to 25 of 149 entries. 50.
I don't know why it doesn't do it for 50 or
100.
100. It's a very nice feature, though, if it worked for all of them. My data size is bigger than 150, so it should work. Anyway, combo box feels great.
Tab. Search colon. Entry.
Yeah, the combo box we should
Screen reader off.
The combo box isn't just accessible; it's trying to be assistive. By adding that Aria Live confirmation, that's really nice, especially since you can't see that UI feature off the screen. It's really nice having that visually happen. There's no real way for a sighted person to actually know that it updated. So anyway, just
screen reader on. Untitled 27-2 tab. Showing tab.
Right, let's get to the end.
Raw tab. Size colon tab. 1. Link. Tab. 2. Link. Tab. Next. Link. Tab. Last. Link. Tab. Cell 8. Let last net 2. Link. Tab. Return. Last. Link. Gray left 2. Link. Tab. Cell 2. Link. 1. Link. Previous. First. Link. HTTPS showing 1.
Let's make some more rows.
Leave entries per page. 10. Tab. First tab. Previous. Link.
Okay, first and previous are active
Tab.
since we're not at the
1.
beginning.
Return. 1. Link. Showing 1 to 10 of what tab?
I
1.
can't shift
Link.
tab back. This is good.
Tab. 2. Link. Tab. 3. Link. Tab. 4. Link. Tab. 5. Link.
It's nice. Maybe it could
out.
even
Screen
say
reader
something like show rows X to X. But this is fair. This is relatively accessible. Let's see. Are these buttons or are they linked? Actually, I don't want to dive too far into that at the moment. But as far as this goes, this is the best way to put pandas data frames into a notebook, a static notebook that I've seen so far. It definitely considers accessibility. There are probably some features in data tables that could use some work to make it more assistive. This stuff is fairly accessible, but to make it assistive, for everybody to have a experience with the data, it's on the way there, and you can see the desire to. So this is a really cool feature, and I really hope to add it to my toolbox, especially with the captioning. Adding captions to your figures is really great. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a way to use pandas to actually do that with the auto display. I can't imagine a way to set the caption. But I want to check another thing here. So where do these reppers apply to? So we've got files, and then we can go and use the style attribute. Never mind. We made it optional. So let's make this unoptional. Okay, so now we should get auto cool tables, rad tables. I really like this. This feels great. It actually works on the style attribute, so that's awesome, because then you might be able to go and set a caption, and then this is the table, and then we'll go and show. Okay? So you'll probably have to save a variable before you show it. But let's see. It didn't capture the caption. Oh yeah, no, it does. It does capture the caption. That's excellent. Okay, great. So we're definitely in the right direction of accessible tables, because in order to add captions, the best way to do that is to use the style attribute. So basically we can use a data frame, we can auto show it, and then this expects us to put captions, and we have really nice tables as a result and better accessibility. So yeah, iTable seems like a big win to me. And we've been streaming for about 40 minutes. And why don't we take some time and clean this guy up, and see if there isn't anything else worth thinking about today. Cool. So this is Mark Wout's post. And then we're going to say... Okay. All right. Today we explored the accessibility of static and interactive table representation. We had a really good experience with this itables approach as a representation for tables. It is better. It is a better tactile experience for all. That's for sure. It doesn't sound bad. Really happy with it. Very cool. Very cool. So it's worth noting data tables here. And then this is, let's see, what's a, yeah, we'll just call that one data tables, won't we? Okay, and then I'm working on how I'm gonna present from these notebooks here, but it's gonna be, I'm curious about how I can start to synthesize these with video after I'm done. So here is a making pandas accessible post. I have quite a few of these. It's kind of a hard problem to figure out because it's so stinking general, but so is notebook accessibility. So we persist. Hopefully things aren't cut off too bad here. I mean, ultimately, I'm just going to share this notebook later. So I imported some stuff. Y'all don't have notebook here. That just let me do some fast things. But then we activate the itables repr for the notebook. And it looks like it's putting something in the browser, like probably some CSS or something. It would be really nice to like run this out of band, but there probably isn't an easy way. I don't know. But it's probably got to include some payload in it. We can poke into that. Let's see. What's it got? What do you got? Inspect. What's in here? So it's an output area, and it's got this child. It's got a prompt. Render summation. Okay, so there is where to go? There is style and a script that's put in here, so that we can use itables. But I ain't mad at it because it works when we render it. Yeah, I'll pay for that. Normally, I'd probably cram it up here. Like usually when I'm writing these things, I'll put a bunch of boilerplate up here, but that would probably be the place where I put that. But that's not in the future. In the future, great tool, great tool, pretty cool. Awesome. So create some data to work with by downloading gist from GitHub. This was a nice way to warm up for live programming today. And then we go and show. Okay, so did we change the default? All right, so I don't want this all the time. I really do prefer to keep these things optional, I believe. I do like the idea of using the caps. Actually, no, we're going for it. All interactive. This is all I'm doing. Great. So now we're going to do a deep data frame. So one of the things that is tough about this is that, it does require JavaScript. So some people who are not using JavaScript might not be able to do this. But that still means that we want well-formatted tables ahead of time. And I just realized that the table format ahead of time might predicate the quality of the data table and the outcome. But anyway, we've got this data frame here, and it's a, let's do df style. And I only want to show you, like, let's just do a sample of it. So, like, let's do 2 of these. Style, is there a way to, okay, edf.style. And then when I do set caption, that does what? That's it. Okay. What does that return? Okay, so that returns a thing. Okay, great. So we can chain all this stuff. That's perfect. All right, cool. Okay, style, set caption, Tony, fast, gist. Okay. And then, so now we're going to go and remove this, and we're going to do style, and we're going to say set caption, and then we're going to say Tony fast. Files in gist, whatever. I don't even know. Programming words don't even make sense after enough time. And then we were curious about the verbosity of the aria sort buttons. So we made a table with less columns to see that was the culprit, but we left with future exploration to do. Great. Cool. So, yeah, so this is the reason that we made this table, and this is where we also experimented with the caption the first time. So let's go and do style, set caption. Cool. I really like this. I really am happy that I can make a table with a caption. I'm sure I can do it with pandas, right? Clearly, I can do it with pandas here. But at the same time, too, I get the interactivity and all that stuff. It's really nice. So I don't even know why we did this. Let's get rid of that. And then let's call it the end. Yeah. it was a very good experience with what's today's date, the 22nd, and we'll call this itables stream. So I'll be able to embed the stream in this post after everything is done. Actually, might even be able to do it right now. Yep, absolutely can. So let's get very meta with this. Can we check into okay, video link. Oh, it's not giving me. Oh, I guess you can't embed a live stream. Womp womp. Well, anyway, I will check all that. I will add the video to this when we're all done. And no, there's a way to do this, isn't there? Anyway, I should not mess with that. We've been on this for a while. 50 minutes together. Thank you so much. I don't think I think it was just me, but at the same time too, I like doing these because it's good to have audio visual of screen readers. It's also good for developers to experience how to use their screen reader. So if anybody does take the time to watch this, thank you so much. And if not, yeah, please make your stuff accessible and pay disabled people. Thanks.